Good morning, friends. Welcome on Monday morning to Going to Ground. And it's about 6:45 in the morning here in Wiltshire, and with you, I suspect as well. I've come to the barn that I photographed. There's a photo of this on my Instagram, which I love this old barn here, and I come up here almost daily. We're up by Devil's Den, those stones I've told you quite a lot about and written a little bit about. And this barn, that's a proper barn, isn't it, there? And moreover, it has a barn owl in it. The barn owl that I'd seen on early morning walks this way lives there because there's a huge bird box, a barn owl box, round the other side of the barn, with a great big perch outside. And I've seen, just where I'm leaning against the fence post here, I've seen the barn owl perched on this post as well and flying ahead. I had just thought that because we're out really early this morning, we might even catch sight of him, and while I'm speaking you may even see him fly around from the barn. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it, if that was the case? Well, this morning I'm wanting to just say a very little bit about how we bear with ourselves during lockdown. Depending on your character and your personality type and temperament, you will either be very happy to be in a certain degree of isolation, away from people, or you will ache for society and long for the closeness it brings. And you're probably, if you're anything like me, a little bit of both of those at different times. And one of the harder things, of course, is that we're brought face to face with ourselves much more at this season, which it's got an interior time in every way, being within the walls of our home for the most part, and being within the walls of ourself as well. And we need to know peace within our walls, and we need to know how to live a good interior life. So there are lessons to be learned. There are some really important spiritual tests in this time about the inner life and about how we accompany ourselves and what we are brought to see, to notice about ourselves, which can then be offered to God, and where we can find God in the midst of our own complex knot of feelings and desires. Today the Church of England, the Anglican Church, remembers Christina Rossetti, the great poet, hymn writer of the 19th century. And I wanted to read here a beautiful poem of hers, which is on this theme. She's, in this poem, very harsh with herself. So we'll say just a little more at the end of the poem, but it's well, you'll make your own mind up. It's called Who Shall Deliver Me? God strengthen me to bear myself, that heaviest weight of all to bear, inalienable weight of care. All others are outside myself. I lock my door and bar them out, the turmoil, tedium, gadabout. I lock my door upon myself and bar them out, but who shall wall self from myself, most loathed of all? If I could once lay down myself and start self-purged upon the race that all must run, death runs apace. If I could set aside myself and start with lightened heart upon the road by all men overgone. God harden me against myself, this coward with pathetic voice who craves for ease and rest and joys. Myself, arch traitor to myself, my hollowest friend, my deadliest foe, my clog whatever road I go. Yet one there is can curb myself, can roll the strangling load from me, break off the yoke, and set me free. Powerful poem. And of course, she's referring to Christ at the end of the poem, the one who takes the yoke from us and offers us his easy yoke. So I wonder what, for Christina, she found to be Christ's easy yoke for her, because when the Spirit comes, the Spirit promised by Jesus before his death, and which the church now awaits, there is a promise of inner counsel and peace, and of a voice that comes within us, an advocate, one who speaks with us and to us and alongside us in gentle, truthful ways, and who speaks to us as one not who is damning and critical, but one who offers our life into the life of God and brings the life of God to be with us. And that brings into the interior place, into the walled-in, barred-in place, a great assurance that we are loved and understood. So peace be within your walls today, friends, and God bless you as you go to ground.